Hello, Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance of Cincinnati, Ohio. We are located on Montgomery Road across from Montgomery Cyclery, and we do work on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I also write a monthly blog talking about a fine organization, Angel Flights, which we're looking for contributions to that we will match to the extent that we can. And they're a great bunch of people. It's worthy reading that blog. I thought I would go off and reminisce a little bit about an organization that I sincerely miss. And it's known as RadioShack. And the reason that I miss an organization like that, and I actually worked for them years ago, I think they had the world's largest alumni association, was that you were able to get individual parts and components to do repairs. It could be anything from ICs to fuses to fuse holders. I did a lot of work and still actually use Citizen Band radio when I travel because not every place has cell coverage. And you could easily get this stuff right away. And when people asked me, what happened to them, it was kind of a sort of story where they forgot who they were, which was really a parts store, and got into selling cell phones, which took a lot of people down. It was a mistake on their part. But it's also the reason why we stock at the store a lot of fuses for older equipment, the AGCs. Now, if you ever look inside of a product, if they're AGCs, they were typically glass fuses. And you could look at them and see when they were toast because you would see a scorch mark on the inside of the fuse that was just vaporized metal. Later on, because of really the European market, ceramic fuses became very required, would be the best way of putting it. And with ceramic fuses, the only way of testing them is to literally take them out. You can't leave them in the circuit. You have to manually do it with a multimeter. And the reason behind ceramic fuses is that in the process of burning up, there were potential cases where the glass fuses would shatter and risk a fire potential. So the ceramic fuses were required as to prevent any potential fire problem. But the beauty of RadioShack was that unlike Amazon, where you had to order it and get it, then you'll get it the next day if you're a Prime member, that sort of thing, assuming you order enough that you don't have to pay shipping, is that you could just go over to RadioShack and get them, get the parts. And that's just the way it was. We also carry the little 5 by 20 millimeter fuses in stock as well, because we do run into that somewhat. But, it's a real shame that we've lost, merchants that were capable of supplying these instant solutions to our needs, and rather than having to sit and wait a day or two or however for mail order to arrive. Because in some situations, that's really not an option, particularly if you need it now. So, we do have the fuses. I do miss RadioShack a lot. And as I said, I'm an alumni of them. And it's where I got the hi-fi bug, actually, believe it or not. And, there we are. So if you don't have anything readily available, my recommendation would be to get yourself a few backup fuses for your electronics. Keep in mind that there's, on power amplifiers in particular, there's typically the external fuse that you can see and unscrew the back and get them off. But there's oftentimes internal fuses as well. So you may want to pop your lid once in a while if you're going in and cleaning it up anyway with dust off or something. And get the values of those fuses and just have a couple spares around just in case you ever need them. So that's my take on fuses and my take on RadioShack. There we are.